Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more the butthole, maybe some relationships too. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting a like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And let's dive into today's first story. Now, today's first story comes from iGazModel, who says, "Am I the arsehole for telling a friend's friend that he couldn't keep the jackpot that he hit on my antique slot machine? About $700. Had a party at my house last night. I have an antique slot machine from the 1940s that is in absolutely spotless and working condition in my living room. My step-grandma was a showgirl. She got it while dating a count room guy prior to meeting my grandpa. Over the years, people have played it and maybe won a few quarters here and there. Maybe a max of $50 at a time. As far as I know, the jackpot was never hit on it, so however it works, there was probably about $700 in the jackpot reserve that had built up over the years. I've never bothered to have it cleaned out, since it just seemed like a fun novelty. Well, a friend's friend hit the jackpot last night. I was fucking floored when he legit thought he could keep my $700. His case was he'd been playing with his own money and I would have kept his quarters. My argument was I'd be happy to give him his quarters back if he'd asked, but I'm not a casino, and while I'm not destitute, I can't afford to give someone $700. Argument caused the party to wind down, and one of my best guy friends basically told the guy it'd be in real shit if he tried to leave with the money, but the guy left threatening to come back with the cops and sue me in small claims court. I have no idea if that was realistic, but no cops came back. So, was I the arsehole for not letting him keep the money? And we have a lengthy load of edits, which basically is going to count in as an update in a moment. So we're going to go straight to some comments to see what they say first. And we're going to start off with Dismin, who says, "You're the arsehole. You left money in the machine knowing people might win some of it. You were perfectly fine letting people use it as though it were real and keeping their money if they didn't win and let the jackpot build. And now that someone actually won, you don't want it to be real anymore." Lucy Bluth replies to that one saying, "I think this is the best comment here. Originally, I was going with not the arsehole because I thought it was a bit tacky for the friend to think he should get a payout from a novelty machine that's in someone's home. But I think you are right and I agree with you're the arsehole. OP knew there was a possibility of someone hitting the jackpot eventually and never made it clear with his friends what his expectations were if anyone ever hit it. And if he never intended to pay out any winnings, then he should have a policy in place where he gives people their losses back instead of keeping their money." Groggy says, "Not the arsehole. I don't usually post in here, but seeing everyone claim you are the arsehole for not giving this dude $700 seems asinine to me. He could not have the same expectation here as he would in a real casino of winning a bunch of money. I doubt it is even legal anywhere in the US to do that, so why would he expect it at some guy's house? You weren't exactly smart about this, or previous times, but you're not the arsehole for not giving him $700. I'm assuming you didn't rack up the $700 plus from other people's money. If so, then you're running an illegal casino, and not only do you owe that guy $700, but you're also treading thin ice that the cops don't bust down your door. In the future, don't let people play with their own money. Clean the machine out and let people play using your quarters. There will never be hard feelings that way." Jason says, and quotes, "Over the years, people have played it and maybe won a few quarters here and there. Maybe a max of $50 at a time," and says this reads like you normally let people take their winnings and people play with their own money expecting to be able to take the winnings. You randomly decided not to let your friend take the winnings this time because you decided it was too much money. You are absolutely a gigantic arsehole here. You're the arsehole." Webby Vanderquack says, "Everyone sucks here, but you to a lesser extent. You had a slot machine at a party and people put their own money into it. You should have made it clear that it wasn't technically playable. Keeping $700 in it is nuts. You can't afford to lose $700, but you never bothered to get it out because it seemed like a fun novelty. That said, it was your home, not a casino, and as soon as you told your guest the jackpot wasn't up for grabs, he should have laughed it off. Threatening to call the cops and take it to court is just embarrassing. Put a sign on the slot machine to say all jackpots are the property of the owner." Sing Dog says, "Not the arsehole, you are not a casino. That said, you should have not kept so much in cash in there really, as it's kind of predictable that someone would feel possessive of the cash from a win." Sparky Rock says, "You're the arsehole. Why would you let people play it knowing they can win money on it and then pull back because they win? If you don't want to possibly lose money from it, don't let people play or post a sign ahead of time. And a couple more comments because I'm really enjoying this one. WiseGirl19 says, not the arsehole, you aren't a casino. And I doubt he was playing on it expecting to see a payout. And it's your property. It's just a fun machine to play on to pass time. It's not like you told him there was tons of money in it and then he spent a lot trying to hit the jackpot without telling him he wouldn't get to keep it. But honestly, keep the machine cleared out. This entire issue could have been avoided. Lottie says, you're the arsehole. You claim that you're not a casino, but you're more than happy to let others spend their money in your machine and have let others keep smaller winnings in the past. Do you think the casinos are happy when their clients win a jackpot? Over the years, you've let friends play on the machine with their own money. Then the money these people have spent has added up to $700, which you now claim as your own. I'm assuming the logic here is lost while gambling on the machine, which means if they win while gambling on the machine, they should get to keep the winnings. You can't have it both ways. Stop acting like he's taking $700 out of your wallet. It was money that you weren't using and couldn't be bothered to clean out. If you can afford to forget about $700 lying around, you can afford to lose it. And I've got to be honest, I've already caught a glimpse of what the update entails, so I don't think I can give an opinion without being biased of some sort. But I will let you know this post was flagged as arsehole, so we're going to move on to the update now to see what happened next. So the first edit said, sorry guys, I can't answer such witticisms as why are you so shitty because I've been banned. Edit 2. Wow, since I'm a baby gangster who's been running an illegal gaming operation, both things that have been said, I might as well just go the whole hog and start running guns and pimping underage Andean alpacas to people who would pay for the privilege. Am I really that bad? I just thought I had a cool thing my step-grandma got by banging a dude from the count room. Edit 3. Gotta address this one directly in quotes. If this was really last night, give it a week or a month and see how many friends, especially mutual friends, are no longer talking to you. Forget our votes, listen to those. Also forget small claims. You need to worry more about hearing from your state's gambling commission. Then says, if the moderators allow me to update, I will absolutely update and tell you how many friends I've lost. Almost everyone, including the friend that brought the winner, thought he was being a total arsehole for the way he was down on his hands and knees scooping up quarters off the floor to put in his pockets. And he was lying about how much he put into the machine too. He said $75. Who the fuck walks around with $75 in quarters when going to a party at a stranger's house? In addition, I will gladly call our state gaming commission, AZ, Arizona, and ask what trouble I might be in. I will update on that when I can. People can't be this dramatic in real life. I'm a ducking Instagram influencer for my job. The phoniest, most vapid, saddest job a person can have right now, and I'm still blown away by some of these comments. Call me you're the arsehole all you like, but don't be stupid and claim to have knowledge you don't have in the process. Edit 4. Well, I was banned for joking around. Other people have bad posts calling me a, what I can't say on YouTube, up for over an hour. Makes info hard, but I try to explain my thinking on the money in the machine and why I can't afford to give it to him. Say you have a change jar, has $100 in it. Your good friend asks to borrow $25 for parking. You'd say yes, right? Another friend says, wow, that's cool, I have $1.25 in my pocket. Can I donate to your change jar? You'd say yes. Now let's say a guy you've never met says, hey, I'll put 80 cents into your change jar. Now I'm taking the whole thing. You would say no. That's how I've always seen the slot machine as a huge change jar for all of my close friends to use. I've given people quarters to play. I've taken a quarter here and there from people who wanted to see it work. I've taken in maybe $100 over 5 years. Maybe that's a nickel a day. Not a freaking illegal gambling operation. Be a pretty shit one if it was. Edit 5, a good question. And someone asks, info, did he explicitly ask if he was allowed to play it and keep what he wins? If no, then he played it without permission. You aren't running a casino. OP goes on to say, no, he did not. The first time I ever saw or spoke to him was when he was on his hands and knees picking up quarters off of the floor, slamming them in his pockets. I don't mind if people play it. I even give people quarters to play it, since no one has change anymore. But he did not ask. Edit 6. Another good question. In quotes. Also, need more info. You stated that other guests have won small jackpots in the past. Max $50. Did you let them keep it? If so, why are you making a double standard here? OP replies, I would have let him keep $50 to $100. He certainly got away with some in his pockets, but he was such an arsehole right away that he didn't give me the chance to come to any sort of deal. Most everyone at the party just wanted him gone. I do feel bad, and maybe my guilt over the apparent double standard is why I'm asking here. But I do feel as though, had he been even slightly cool and not threatening cops or lawsuits, I wouldn't have been backed into a corner. Edit 7. And someone asks, info, we need to know where the money came from. Did the money in the machine come from you putting it in or playing the machine? OP says, so this is all guesswork based on what my grandma said the jackpot could hold. There's a window that shows coins in the jackpot. The space behind it is about the size of a big shoebox. She said it gets full at $800. It was more than half full when my grandpa gave it to me. I always guessed $500 in 5 years. It's now 7 2/8 full. I play it from time to time, so I'd say $100 of that is mine and $100 is friends. I think the jackpot and normal payouts come from different boxes, so last night was the last night I've ever seen that window empty. I know nothing of that machine or how it works or how to change settings, so I may be wrong and a slot machine nerd could correct me if I'm way off base. Edit 8. This is the best You're the Arsehole take so far, and I can't let it get buried. In quotes, I really hope you get into some serious legal trouble and then you'll wish all you lost was several hundred and not thousands, including jail time. Edit 9. At 5:45 AM. Gotta work. You guys are really cracking me up. I love the comments that say, your edits make you the arsehole. Alone. Where did the money come from, by the way? I truly can accept that You're the Arsehole votes, but so freaking many have the basic facts wrong. 1. I wasn't profiting off this machine. I've literally never opened it up and taken a single coin out. 2. I can't afford to give a random dude $700. I don't need it now either, but I might someday. And now I found out that some of the quarters that my grandma had from the 50s and 60s might actually be silver. Oh, Jesus, it's a good thing I hung on to them, right? I can't wait for the "you're a stupid thought" rationalizations to come from this one. 3. I never cleaned it out because honestly, I liked the way it looked with the coins in the window. This thing is enormous and built with casino security in mind, so it was in fact a great piggy bank. 4. Some nice not the assholes have suggested I have a bowl of quarters for people to play. I actually in effect did that because 80% of the time, people who wanted to play didn't have change. I got it 5 years ago, so I always had quarters around, maybe just not right by the machine. 5. As an example, over the years, it's mostly friends, kids who want to play. I had a very precocious 9-year-old once come over with his $20 of money, truly expecting to get the jackpot. He was heartbroken when he didn't win. I might have given it to him since he was so cute, but I gave him a $20 silver certificate my step-grandma had given me, acquired by dubious means no doubt, and that kid was thrilled. So I always give people money back if they ask. I never intended to profit off the machine. No one has ever made a big deal of it before, save the 9-year-old. Edit 10. This dude wins the comments for all time, and quotes, I bet you look like Jared Fogle or some shit. Then OP laughs. Edit 11. So the plot thickens. Thank you to some very helpful people who own slot machines, who DM'd, who were able to suggest experts in my area. I was able to call a local person who works on antique slot machines. My slot machine is highly customized, but it's based around a pretty well-known model from that era. I don't want to say exactly because only a few of them exist anymore, and he said I could tell right away if the machine was broken or had been tampered with. In my very amateur job of checking it over, it does appear that this little piece is either broken or misplaced, so it looks like this piece of shit guest actually broke my machine to steal my money. There wasn't a jackpot at all. I don't have confirmation of this until the repair guy is able to come over later this week, but it looks like that's what happened. The guy said there's an outside chance that if that piece was broken or tampered with, that it was an accident, but he wouldn't bet on it. I still don't care if I'm You're the Arsehole till the cows come home. Posting here has probably allowed me to get to the bottom of this, and fuck that guy. Edit 12. Well, the amazing and level-headed moderators of this sub just ever so politely inform me that I will not be allowed to update this post. So the short story is, the winner almost certainly was hitting the machine and caused the jackpot to spill out. So had I been a real casino, I would have enacted the malfunction void all pays and plays clause. So yeah, I was totally in the right. Fuck this sub, fuck the moderators, and fuck those of you on your stupid high horse. Most of you, however, were cool. And even the comments After the update, we're still like 50-50. Some saying not the arsehole, some saying you're the arsehole. It was absolutely kicking off on that one. I've never seen that story before, but it did tickle me. What do you guys think of this one? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Oh my word. I always worry about asking for comments when it's so divided like this. Let me know your thoughts and let's move on to another story. Well, it's very entertaining. Now, our next story comes from Toddler Nightmare, who says, am I the arsehole for telling my wife that if she wants to dictate sleep schedules for our kids, she's welcome to be a stay-at-home mum. My wife and I, both early 30s, have 2 sons, an 8-year-old and a 2-year-old. We are also raising her niece, 5 years old currently, because her parents are in rehab. I'm a stay-at-home dad and my wife works. When we had our oldest, my wife was a stay-at-home mum for a little over a year, and then she decided to go back to work. She makes more money than I do, and I was really happy to spend time with our son, so I agreed to stay home, take care of our son and do the housekeeping. After we had the 2-year-old, the agreement stayed in place. My wife still wanted to work. My wife has severe anxiety, and being at home with the kids all day would really impact her mental health. Her niece came to live with us 8 months ago, and it's looking like she will stay for much longer, maybe even permanently. She's a lovely girl, but was raised by drug addicts, so her routine was basically non-existent. I made a solid routine in our house for her, as in chores, sleep schedule, etc., and she has adjusted really well. My wife works 8 to 5, the kids wake up at 7, then my wife takes the 8-year-old to school and I am home with the other 2. The 8-year-old goes to bed at 8 PM, the 5-year-old at 7:30 PM, and the 2-year-old at 7 PM. A few days ago, my wife told me her niece wants us to move her sleep an hour to 8 PM, same as our 8-year-old. I told her no because our 8-year-old has more chores because he's older and uses the 30 minutes extra he has a night to watch his favorite cartoon without little brother and cousin interrupting him constantly, which they do because, well, he's the big brother. My wife got really pissed at me and said that I'm treating her niece unfairly because she isn't mine. I said that's ridiculous. She told me we may someday adopt her and I need to treat her like my own. I told her I do treat her like my own, and a regular sleep schedule is what I maintain for all my children. It's not like the 8-year-old can stay up later than agreed, or the 2-year-old can skip naps just because he hates sleep. She called me a biased father and an arsehole for putting my kids before her niece. I told her if I'm such a horrible father, she's welcome to be a stay-at-home mum and deal with the kids while I go work. She was really hurt. Am I the arsehole here? Now, to me, it feels like a pretty simple not the arsehole, and I don't think you are being biased. I think you're creating a schedule that works for them. And, you know, this is a 5-year-old kid. Of course, they're going to try and test the boundaries at the moment and push their luck when they can. Of course, they're going to. It's kind of what they do. But Obrina98 says not the arsehole. Sounds like you have valid reasons. It's normal for kids to campaign for later bedtimes. It's also normal for parents to say no. Smeghead says, not the arsehole, there's a 3-year age difference. My brother's 2 years older than me, and he always went to bed an hour later. I'd be willing to bet your son went to bed at 7:30 when he was 5. If so, you are most certainly treating her like your own. Western Hole says, not the arsehole. I don't know what your wife's problem is, but the 5-year-old doesn't need to stay up any later than they are right now. Chris Sam West says and replies, wife's problem is that she already has anxiety that is being exasperated by her sibling who is battling addiction issues. By taking over the parenting of the niece, I agree that she is the arsehole in the situation, but she probably isn't intending to be malicious, unless she had a habit of hurling insults outside of this, which OP didn't indicate. She needs to rein herself in and develop better coping skills, and would be a real arsehole if she doesn't. Crawdad says not the arsehole, you're setting appropriate schedules for the kids, little ones always push. Parents stay fast to the routine. Your wife is out of line. And one more from Tazami who says, not the arsehole, your wife is questioning your commitment to parenting her niece, which is not a requirement, and when is highly likely to create unnecessary friction in your marriage, instead of presenting a united front to said niece. Especially when her niece went to her instead of the person caring for her all day to make this request. My guess is your niece already knows the answer and went to your wife because she wanted to hear something different. Not out of this world for a child to do, but definitely something that can throw a wrench in out of sync parents parenting. This is not an issue with your choices. Your wife is not demanding you make adjustments to anyone else's schedule. She is trying to guilt and shame you into giving in to her demands. Is that conflict resolution pattern typical of her? is discussing how she feels about her niece and why she might be favoring her, something that could be beneficial here. Does it make her feel better to be the one who rescues her niece? Why is it so hard for her to accept no as an answer? Is she struggling with what conversation she might have to have with her niece if she does? Strong personal issues signal here from her. Either way, kudos on taking on more than you bargained for and taking that commitment and responsibility seriously. Now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you think is happening in this situation? Do you have another opinion on the matter? Let us know in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, support, and time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for what you do. And hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from